basketball friends, and welcome in here to the AABA Spring 2023 Championship. A season that started on February 25th is going to end the same way it did last season. Hrazdan versus Armens matching up in another finals appearance. I'm Hrazdan Armenian alongside Richard L. Moyen in the broadcast booth. Rich, rematch of last year's finals, and Hrazdan undefeated coming into the game. Armens undefeated for 2 seasons straight, 12-0. We're in for a treat.
You couldn't write a better storyline than this one. You're seeing two teams that don't like each other whatsoever. You're seeing two completely different styles of basketball being played on each end. And guess what? You have two of the most lethal scorers on the court today, along with two of the best passers of the league as well. So needless to say, it's a great storyline.
And look, the Armens, they lost our man Warren Helliger at the beginning of the season, and I guess they made up for it, getting Ryan Carter, the Hezigod, scoring 53 points a game, over 50% from the field. Rich, what has he brought to this team that they didn't have last year?
Efficiency and something to believe in. I mean, this Armens team clearly undefeated for a whole year now, but when you lose your MVP player and you lose the coach of the year, you need to have something that backs the walk that you've been bringing to the table. And especially with a guy like Gabriel Adjemian, Fredo Diambo, both averaging a lot of rebounds that they can use in their size. It's been something helpful for this Armens team, but that's not to say that Ryan Carter hasn't been the main force on the offensive end for this team.
And let's not forget, last year in the finals, it was Gabriel Adjemian winning the MVP, the player of the game, with the 27 points and 15 rebounds. And look, he's been a force all year. The Armens shorthanded a couple games, missing players, but he's been that one consistent piece that's always here and always ready to go.
Everyone knows Gabriel Adjemian brings a lot of heart with him. Compton College basketball player, clearly someone that is no new player to the spotlight. He has a gold medal with the Armenian national team from the summer prior, and that was during an injury, so he's been around the game. He has the repertoire needed for times like this. And of course, we can't forget Andrew Debagian, the defensive player of this season, and of course Patrick Panusi, the Azusa Pacific member.
Panusi, you know, a guy that's known for his scoring, but this season taking a role as really a rebounder. There was a point he was leading the team in rebounds, actually led the league in total rebounds this season, Rich. So, look, he's found ways to impact winning.
Yeah, no, Patrick Panusi, one of those players, when you look up his name, you find La Cañada under his name. You see Azusa Pacific. And those two programs already tell me a basketball player that has experience to the next level of Los Angeles area basketball. Now, this Armens team, especially when we're talking about Patrick Panusi, brings a lot of heart into the game. They may be chirping, they may be talking, but that's just a part of their game. They're not unfocused. They're just ready. They're all up in your grill.
Armens obviously not too shabby, but we got to switch to the other end, and let's talk about the other team that's going to be facing off today. Hrazdan, amazing this season. Look, they're a team that has been missing players, playing with 5 guys majority of the season, and you see the guy on the screen, Andre Spite, he's out, averaging 38 points, another efficient guy. He's over playing in France, Rich, and he's doing his thing there too.
Yes, no, definitely. And Andre Spite, no new face to overseas basketball. He's been playing with the Armenian national team for years now. He brought the first gold medal for the first Armenian senior national team. So European basketball is nothing new to him. But the question is, for this Hrazdan team that is now led by Austin Pope, averaging 26 points, as you can see on your screen, and 11 rebounds and 5 assists, a guy like Austin Pope at 6'6", 6'5", has the vibe of Anthony Hardaway, for those that are familiar, but he has the mental toughness and the skill set of Steve Nash, I would even argue.
And Rich, we heard in their last game, they kept saying, no Spite, no problem, no Spite, no problem. And Pope really did, I feel like, take that personally last game. He felt like he was being a little disrespected. They were looking at him like, oh, he's just a sidekick. He's Robin. No, he's become full Batman this season. And the rest of the team has really picked up the slack. Look, last week, or 2 weeks ago, my apologies, Andreas Bogoskin, a guy who was in and out of the lineup all season, comes in, scores 20 points, 7 of 11 from the field, 5 of 8 from deep. They just really find ways to, as I mentioned earlier, impact winning. And look, these two guys, Taman Hudatian and Narba Ibrahimian, this is their 4th consecutive finals appearance, and they've been a part of all of those runs. How important is it having that veteran presence and the guy that have been along for the run?
I mean, Narbe Ibrahimian knows Steve Fisher on a name-to-name basis. We're talking about a basketball player that has been a part of San Diego State University. We're talking about Austin Pope. He's been with Chaminade University. Now he's with BTI. He's with Viewpoint. So you're seeing all these basketball players with not just a wealth of experience from playing, but also teaching. Narbe Ibrahimian basically trains the entire league in their physicality, which, funny enough, or shall I say, ironically enough, Narbe Ibrahimian was put on a not sure list for a week because he had that injury in his hand. It was a lot of rumors. Ibrahimian refused to speak to the media about it. So this is something interesting that I think we should be looking into. Narbe Ibrahimian, is he the X factor that's going to bring that extra oomph to Hrazdan with that experience that you were talking about, similar to Austin Pope?
And, you know, a lot of these guys on this Hrazdan team, as you see right now, look, Borosi, we mentioned earlier the 20-point performance 2 weeks ago. Coleman has been in and out of the lineup. I saw him walk into the arena today, so he'll be ready to go. And look, JT Terrell, the man that almost single-handedly led them to a championship last year, he's been gone all season, and they've still found ways to fill in the void. I remember last season, it was Andre Spite on the stream saying they're lucky I'm not playing. It's another season where he's not going to be playing in the championship.
Yep.
But Hrazdan ready to pick up the slack for him. Now, Rich, let's dive a little bit deeper into this game. What do you think is the biggest key for this Armens team today?
Composure. It comes down to composure and execution. How well are you using all of your teammates? Is Hezigod able to, or also known as Ryan Carter, can Ryan Carter get the offense going, but also at the defensive end? Because this Hrazdan team, they're so good on the defensive end, while the Armens have both the best worlds. However, it really comes down to execution, composure, and yeah, I guess execution is the main one here.
We're just moments away from tip-off here inside Academy USA. Hrazdan versus the Armens, second time coming. We'll be right back with the start of the game. No Ryan Carter, the Hezigod. It's going to be a Jemian coming off the bench to start it off, and Hrazdan only 5 players today, so this one really could go either way. It's Pope early on, spinner, lays it up, lays it in. Austin Pope getting right to work.
So Hrazdan team is used to having 5 guys on the floor. Armens, different story on their end. Not to say they're not experienced in times like this.
Panusi trying to get some post position early, flicks it up, can't get it to go. Injagulian pushing the break. Hudatian going inside. Ball ends up in Melik Setian's hands. Panusi shifts in the lane. Floater. Drops in.
If that man gets it going early, this Armens team is going to be in good hands.
And Rich, you see it in all types of sports, championship games, playoff matchups. It's the unexpected guy stepping up and being the hero. Not saying Panusi is someone who's not going to be, or not someone you expect to do that, but he's definitely going to step up today. Coleman off, Pope with the rebound.
Austin Pope's going to be the one player that I'm going to be really focusing on Hrazdan. And again, notice how Narbe Ibrahimian is not here.
Coleman In and out, rebound by Mask. And Rich, one thing we didn't mention in the pregame show, look, Eli Atmay stepping in for a coach like Vikan Iskijian, a guy who led the team to an undefeated season. He's picking up where he left off, and there's Panusi again.
Eli Atmay is just an incredible coach. And I say incredible because it's not easy to coach so many personalities on a team that all bring great stuff to the table. And Eli Atmay coming in and just being able to turn that around, and a beautiful shot by Teman Khudassian, but being able to turn that around for this Armens team and continue their record-breaking season is fantastic. I'm very pleased and very impressed with his ability.
Valiant quick move. Jumper. Rims out. Injagulian rebound. He brings it up.
Wide open.
Khudassian tries to get the lob. Doesn't get it. Other way, Panusi to McCurchin. Panusi down the middle. Corner, McCurchin. That one's in and out. Coleman with the rebound. Khudassian on the break. Tries finding Pope. Tabakian doesn't tip it out of bounds, so it goes back to the Armens.
Too much activity going on in Hrazdan. A little bit. Austin Pope telling his teammates, calm down. We're in control here. There's a stop clock. Let's work with it.
Panusi fires another one up. Rebound by Khudassian. And Hrazdan, you could tell early on, trying to get out on the break. McCurchin, great job staying straight up. Stops the shot. Mask pulls up. Ball still loose. Panusi inside. And he's got all 6 of his team's points early on.
I'm telling you, Patrick Panusi is the voice and the leadership behind this Armens team. Eli Atmay and Pat Panusi have a great relationship. Panusi essentially executes what is Atmay thinking about on the sideline.
Cross-court pass. Bogosian, top of the key. And Bogosian picks up where he left off 2 weeks ago. Hits his first triple of the game.
If I'm not mistaken, he went 3 or 4 from the last in the last game.
5 of 8.
5 of 8. Oh my God.
Mask from the mid-range. Off. Here comes Pope. Defenders back for the Armens, and McCurchin gives a foul.
Austin Pope feels like that should be 2 free throws coming his way. But I think the referee's going to see otherwise.
The inbound from the baseline. Injagulian to Pope.
And
instead of 2 free throws, he gets 3 points from deep.
By the way, look who's in the building.
Here comes Ryan Carter, the Hezigod. Getting ready to go. Jemian still hasn't checked in. McCurchin gets it to Tabakian. Off the screen, inside. Can't finish over Pope. He rebounds, he brings. Khudassian to Pope. Pope lines one up again. Rebound Mask.
Pope's going to have to take over for Hrazdan if he's going to want to change the way the score looks.
Foul called on Khudassian. That'll be his first. Sub coming in now. Jemian checking in. McCurchin buying his team some minutes.
Jemian being added to the lineup is going to change a lot for Armens, especially opening up for Panusi to not have to, for Armens to not rely on Panusi on the offensive end.
Injagulian with another rebound look, Rich. We've seen it all season. Teams daring Injagulian to shooting under 25% from deep. But look, he's a guy that he was plus 22 on the floor last week for Hrazdan as Khudassian misses a 3. Tabakian.
Tabakian's going to be an interesting outlook for today's game. Is he going to shift to Austin Pope? I like to see that matchup.
Tabakian still cold from the floor, can't hit. He's over 4 so far. Coleman high post, and Tabakian a little too aggressive on defense, fouls him on the jumper.
You know what's the crazy thing about the Armens is that when I was looking at the ballot for who to be voted for in terms of defensive player of the season, you could have chosen any Armens player and they could have fit that description. But something about Andrew Tabakian's defensive efforts, it's one of those things that it just completely changes the dynamic of how the offense is being reacted to. And it's something memorable and something I like to see. especially out of the Armens basketball club.
Coleman good on both free throws, and here comes the Hezigod, Ryan Carter. And no warm-up, first jumper. A little too strong. Rebound to Jemmy, and it'll be out of bounds.
Yeah, first shot of the game. Sounds about right.
Rich Hrazdan has done a great job of keeping this game in their pace. Bogosian off mask. Pass too strong, and Armens a little out of sync early on.
Yeah, I mean, Hrazdan's going to push it to their neck. Even though they're lacking in terms of depth in their bench, I would imagine Hrazdan's going to win the running race today.
Forget lacking in terms of depth. They have no depth.
There
Only
is no
5
depth.
guys here.
It's
Jemian loses it, gets it back. Tough shot from the mid-range. Bogosian connects with Hrazdan. Nice move. Hrazdan with a spinner and a bucket.
That was a tough move. It's not easy to do.
8-point Hrazdan lead now 6 minutes into the game. It's Bogosian matched up with the Hezigod. Step off from mid-range, and he gets it. First bucket of the game for Ryan Carter, the Hezigod.
They're going to need a lot of Carter's offensive abilities in order to get this W off. I mean, both teams are undefeated, Zando. It really comes down to this game.
Rich, we talk about limiting guys instead of stopping them. What's limiting Hezigod, keeping them under 40?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the goal for Hrazdan.
Oh, Coleman, no good. Mask with another rebound. Mask all the way coast to coast, stopped by Pope. Pope to Coleman. Coleman almost gets Hrazdan on a bounce pass. Hrazdan doing what he does best, running the floor, and early on is paying dividends. He's got 4 points.
Yeah, Hrazdan, definitely one of those players last year with a higher ranking in terms of individual accolades. But when you look at where his team is this time around, I wouldn't be mad if I was Tevan Hrazdan myself. Undefeated record, meeting another undefeated team in the finals.
Into Coleman. Nusi on Hrazdan. Armens started off in a zone, switched to a man-to-man, and the Baghian on Pope.
They're really letting Hrazdan shoot that by doubling on him.
And they let Njagulian shoot. He can't make him pay.
I'm interested to see how Hrazdan's going to be guarding a Jemian today.
Panusi off a Jemian, still battling for the rebound, and ends up in Pope's hands.
Great
Pope
pass.
hooks up with Hrazdan for the easy 2.
That's what Hrazdan's known for. Majority of his buckets come from the fast break.
And this Hrazdan team, great on defense so far. Mask gets it back from the Baghian, steps back, 3-pointer. Off the rim, Panusi follows it up, and he's got 8 points.
Who else but Panusi, averaging the same amount of points as he does with rebounds. I believe he gets at least 14 points and rebounds per game.
And look at this, the Baghian making Pope work to just bring it into the front court. Pope shifts through, fouled on his way up like he thought. Instead, Hrazdan follows it up.
Gotta love a competitor like Pope. Takes it straight to the defensive player of the season. He said, I want a piece.
Ryan Carter, 3-pointer. Off the heel of the rim. Hrazdan up 18-10. 2 minutes left in this first frame. Coleman makes it a 10-point game.
Coleman was such a crucial addition. I know last season Jajayan tried incorporating Coleman, but Coleman's basketball career didn't permit him.
Bogosian's smart move, fouling him way before he goes up.
That was a smart foul.
And yet again, that's the one thing when you're shorthanded, you can't really afford to give too many fouls like that.
Gotta let the game flow on its own.
Jemian.
I don't know about that one. Samson may have a little Hollywood in him on that one. I think that was a clean move.
Fights through all the complaining and finishes the basket. Hrazdan getting right back to work. Coleman in the post. Double team closes away. Turnaround.
Great hustle by Tevan Hrazdan. Got that tip in just for his teammates to get that rebound.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Pope gets it back to Njagulian. 5 on the shot clock now. Inside. Finds Hrazdan. And he beats the buzzer. Hrazdan double figure scoring already. 10 points for him.
Great awareness of your space, but if you're Armens, you got to stop Njagulian's lane. I mean, that was a sleepwalk to the lane.
Carter working on Bogosian, steps back. Bogosian in his face. Good contest.
You know, I have Hrazdan having Bogosian guard Carter is probably the best matchup I've seen in all of the AABA league. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Bogosian is the only player in this entire league that understands Carter's footwork.
That, and he's the only guy that he's just fearless when he plays. Ajemian leaves a 5-footer short. Ball still loose, ends up in Carter's hands. 35 left in the first quarter. Carter trying to dance. Steps back, Hrazdan contest. It doesn't matter. Carter with his first three-pointer.
Not much you can do there, but the only adjustment that I can see that you can make when Carter shoots is that you have to understand which angle he likes to take it from, and that's the thing that players have no ability when they're on the court to understand. They can only see it from the side profile.
Shot clock turned off. 8 seconds left in the quarter. Pope. He's got Panusi on him. Pope dancing. Pope driving. Pope. Mid-range. Off. Hrazdan. Wrong place. Can't finish it off, but it's Hrazdan coming out and making a statement early on in the first quarter, up 22-15.
Professional orientation կարևոր է, որտեղ I am Manush from Shenik village. Being from the older generation of co-op kids, I participated in various programs: healthy lifestyle, English access, professional orientation, and startup incubation. I study international relations at Yerevan State University, and last semester, as an Erasmus Plus student, I studied political science at the University of Messina in Italy. Many soft skills I gained and volunteering experience I had with co-op programs helped me to reach even Italy, study abroad, and come back again to my village. Co-op motivated me to be the change I want to see in my community. I want to emphasize the importance of English access and professional orientation programs in my life, which helped me to improve my English skills and make a decision to become a diplomat.
One quarter down in the championship game, living up to expectations. Hrazdan battling early on and getting to a 7-point lead. And Carter going right to the hole to start off the second quarter. Bogosian looks like he slipped on the floor. 6 seconds in, Ryan Carter to the free throw line.
Coming out of the first quarter, having your defensive opponent touch the ground has to be a great feeling. Has to get his rhythm going now.
And this is one thing for Carter. He is so good at getting to the charity stripe, averaging nearly 13 attempts per game. And look, when you're scoring 50 points, he's getting points from everywhere.
You said he's getting 10 free throws a game.
13 nearly.
13 free throws a game. That's nuts. That's some James Harden statistics.
There he is making the first, and a quiet gym really for a championship game, and you could hear almost everything going on the court.
Yeah, it's one of the very few days where it's only one court being used here at Academy USA.
Lead down to 5, 8 seconds into the quarter. Pope held somewhat quiet in that first frame, only 5 points, but it was Hrazdan really doing the work for his team with 10, and there's Pope.
That was a great attempt by Pope, something he's been doing for quite some time.
Carter for 3, in and out. Panusi tries crashing the boards. Indragulian winds up with it. Coleman's got numbers. Here's Hrazdan off.
Bogosian was wide open in the corner. I'm sure he's going to see the game tape later on.
Panusi misses a 3, but there's Dabagian, Defensive Player of the Year, getting his team an extra possession and 2 extra points.
Great defense by Dabagian and Panusi together. And this is what I've been meaning to look at, Zando. Dabagian guarding Pope. This is one of the matchups we were talking about in our pregame.
And Pope waving off the screen, saying he wants to do it himself. Coleman in the post. Ajemian's on him. Coleman hits from the short corner.
Textbook. Great shot. As we just heard Austin Pope say, I like that matchup.
See if Ajemian will have some words for him on the other end. There he is. Blocked by Indragulian. Indragulian been a de facto point guard for his teams today. And there's Hrazdan scoring again inside.
28-19, Zando. They're starting to pitch away.
And you know what, Rich? These two teams played very opposite games in their semifinal matchups. It was Armens who were really going back and forth with Artsakh, and Hrazdan controlled their game against Aragos the whole way through, going wire to wire.
Great pass by Pope.
Coleman for 3. Pope tracks it down. Gets it to Hrazdan and Pope in the corner now. Cross-court pass, Pregame. And there's Pope creating another possession for his team. Ball in the air. Back to Hrazdan.
Austin Pope is pulling wonders right now.
Pope for 3. Short. Hrazdan, 4 chances on that possession. Can't make the Armens pay.
Look, if you're Coach RJJ and you like what you see, if it's going to take 4 possessions for you to get a basket, it's not great. But you're getting those rebounds, which is the good part.
And Dragulian. A little lost there. Couldn't find anyone. Gets it to Pregame finally.
Good reset by Hrazdan.
Pass, Coleman trying to power his way through Debaghian, and Debaghian, that's the second time he's called for a foul with Coleman going to the basket.
Debaghian and Panusi, man. What a great defensive opportunity, but of course.
First, let's take a peek. Last year's such an amazing game, 92-89. It came down to the final possession. JT Terrell nearly willed his team to victory, but it was Warren Helliger, really, the man who was just stealing the show all season, that found a way to dominate the game. It was one of those games where there was times where the pace kind of faltered. It was a defensive, gritty matchup, but it was an amazing game. And right now we have another one on our hands. Coleman at the free throw line. He missed the first one.
You know, I was looking at a couple of the faces from that roster. It's almost like a complete change, but the core has remained for this Armens team. And that's kind of usually what you see on championship teams. The core remains the same, but pieces get added and changed around.
And there's Carter right inside for a deuce. 8-point game, 7 minutes left in the first half. And we got our first time out of the game called by Hrazdan, 29-21. We'll be right back. Back here at Academy USA, 7 minutes to go in the third quarter or second quarter, and today is going to be the Armens role players that may need to step up, and we've seen it already with Panusi. Not that these guys are any slouches calling them role players, but Panusi, he's been the leading scorer so far for the Armens, 10 points. Debaghian continuing to impact on the defensive end, and for Hrazdan, Pregame and Coleman making impacts early on into the game. Coleman, he's been smooth operating, 6 points, doing a majority of his work out of the post. Pregame hit a 3-pointer early on, and that's why their team's up to an 8-point lead 3 minutes into the second quarter. It'll be Hrazdan ball. And Rich, one thing we haven't really mentioned as much, Dragulian's made a big impact on this game already. May not have put the ball in the basket, but a couple assists, 5 rebounds, and he's been the point guard, really just bringing the ball up the floor almost every single time.
One of those players that spaces out the floor because so much interest is set on Austin Pope and Tevan Hrazdan that he kind of spaces out the floor even more as you watch Hrazdan kind of lose the ball handle there.
Debaghian again just forcing a conundrum down low and stealing a possession.
Debaghian, another player. He doesn't need stats to back up his defensive branding, I should say.
Carter from the mid-range. Rough goal for him to start. Carter only 7 points, 2 of 8 from the floor. And Dragulian to Coleman. Inside Coleman, off balance, doesn't matter. He gets it to go.
Coleman has been essential for this Hrazdan team that has no depth like we talked about. They don't have any subs. Meanwhile, Armen's got 2 to use.
Jamian struggling from the floor, 1 of 5 so far. Hrazdan tries a back cut. Panusi was there. Pregame catches into Coleman in the post. He's done great things from there. Turnaround, no good. Rebound to Jamian.
That was Pope's 4th opportunity of swinging the ball cross court, by the way. Not a thing you want to see if you're Coach Eli Atme.
And there's Panusi continuing to keep his team in it. Brings it back down to an 8-point lead. And Rich, one thing Admay's been saying a lot too is you got to box out and limit these offensive rebounds. Pope right to the cup, fouled on his way up. He'll shoot 2 foul shots.
Offensive rebounds are one of the more underrated skill sets to have if you're a big man, let alone a guard. And right now, Hrazdan has been dictating the rebounding a lot. Of course, that comes off of them being unable to execute on the other end from, the opportunities that they have. But I would argue that this Hrazdan team does fairly well in rebounding, and it's going to be on the Armens, which is ironic because the Armens, through Jemian and Panusi and Odiambo, averaged, 30 rebounds just amongst them?
Nearly,
minimum?
and there's another offensive rebound on a free throw, so that turns into a 3-point possession and forces another Armens timeout. Hrazdan up to their biggest lead of the game at 11. We'll be back.
Professional orientation կարևոր է, որովհետեւ I am Manush from Shenik village. Being from the older generation of co-op kids, I participated in various programs: healthy lifestyle, English access, professional orientation, and startup incubation. I study international relations at Yerevan State University, and last semester, as an Erasmus Plus student, I studied political science at the University of Messina in Italy. Many soft skills I gained and volunteering experience I had with co-op programs helped me to reach even Italy, study abroad, and come back again to my village. Co-op motivated me to be the change I want to see in my community. I want to emphasize the importance of English access and professional orientation programs in my life, which helped me to improve my English skills.
Armens ball down 11. Here comes Carter. Bogosian done a great job limiting him early on, but Carter blocked by Pope, but a foul called.
The hand check, is that what it was?
Let's see what's going to be on. It's going to be on Bogosian, so that's his second now. He gave that one early on.
Mm-hmm.
Carter
Gotta
back to
watch
the
out.
free throw line, chance to get himself going again. And Rich Carter, a guy, look, tomorrow he's heading over to Miami. He's got a park takeover in Miami tomorrow.
Nice.
Just always playing basketball, always getting involved, makes the first free throw.
I was talking to Ryan before the season had started. I said, yo, man, what do you work on for your footwork to be that elite? He said, I played football too, right? I said, I didn't know that. And then he brought in, he's like, I played college football. I was like, oh, that adds a little bit more context. But no, he's a great hooper, man. I'm happy to see him hooping in Miami tomorrow.
Into Pope in the post. The Bahian making him work. Panusi doubles. And Jagulian up top. Still can't find the range. In Jagulian, they continue to dare him to shoot. Armens have not paid yet. Carter banks it in, and now we got a 7-point game on our hands, Rich.
Zando, if Injagulian starts making his shots, this game is going to be completely different. Completely different.
And Jagulian a 23% three-point shooter coming into the game. The Bahian breakaway. Leaves it short. Pope with the rebound, and now Hrazdan on the break. Hudatian finds Pope. Pope spinning. Nice move.
Ooh.
And it rolls in. What a move by Austin Pope.
Man, Austin Pope. There goes that man.
Jemian with the answer, and Pope really fired up in this game. And Richard, if I'm Hrazdan, I'm going right back to the well. Give it to Pope one more time. Let him continue this fiery fury.
They have so many unselfish players where oftentimes they even give up the open shot for an even more open shot. You're like, all right, I guess I'll take that.
And Coleman continuing to get to work. He's in double figures now with 11. 3 players for Hrazdan in double figures. Pope with 10. Hudatian with 14. Coleman with 11. Carter shifts Bogosian. Fouled on his way up. Right back to the free throw line.
Great awareness. Ryan Carter, understanding where Bogosian is set, planted his feet, and he chooses the complete area that even as a defender myself, I thought he was going to go right. He ended up going to the baseline and completely maneuvered his way around. Great awareness by Carter, and just not great enough help from Hrazdan to be able to mitigate that. Because, look, I have yet to see Carter pass it out to the wings for the wings to make it. You got to adjust if you're Hrazdan, but that's not to say Carter's repertoire is next level.
And Rich, really the one thing that's sticking out to me for this Armens team, Panusi and Carter currently combining for 26 points. Jemian the only other person to score with 4. just no one really being able to find a way to score besides. Panusi got it kicked off early. Carter came in. He's starting to do his thing, but you need someone else to step up eventually.
As we were talking about in the writing tutor high school game, oh, wow.
Datian, he's really fired up today. Baskin in a foul for him. 16 points already. Lead back up to 9. Hudatian, he's on a revenge tour this season.
Yeah, no, he was telling me last year he was really hurt from that finals loss. He was telling me how prepared he was going to come into this. And mind you, by the way, Hudatian already has 9 rebounds.
And look, another offensive rebound on a free throw. So a potential 4-point possession for Hrazdan. There's 10 on the shot clock. Coleman catches. Mask on him. And Jagulian got Panusi in the air. Ball out. Jemian other way. Finishes over Bogosian. Back to a 7-point game. And Rich, I don't know if you heard, but Coach Eli Atman was kind of trying to trick Jagulian there, giving him a false count. And that's what happens when you have no bench to count it for you. The voices you trust.
Yeah. And the audience is too busy watching the game from an entertainment perspective. So your only teammates are the ones in the green, really.
And Rich, if you look at this defense, it seems like there's a guy that's kind of playing free safety. Whoever's on Jagulian just roaming out to double Pope. Mask steps through the lane. Zabahian ends up with it. Carter with Jagulian on him. Steps back. Rebound Pope. Atmate incensed that there was no foul called there. Bounce pass Jagulian.
Carter's
Pope.
still slow to get up.
Corner Bogosian. Short. Pope can't follow it up. Golden chance for Hrazdan to extend their lead. Instead, Carter fouled on the floor.
Veteran move by Jagulian. Now, do you remember when I said the kindly suggesting the opinion? I think the referee did a great job of demonstrating.
I've never heard appreciate your input. I've just heard the silence when they ignore him. Carter in the corner. Jagulian on him again. He steps back a second time. Short. A whistle blowing in the backcourt.
A lot of anger in the body language we're noticing. If you're at Armens, you got to keep your cool, not allow this momentum to sway against you.
And this is the one thing, they're starting to get a little too caught up in the refs, starting to yell at them a little too much, not just playing the game.
And Panusi being one of the leaders on this team, he's going to have to want to stay on the court. We don't want to see any kind of technical situations happening, kind of like what we saw in that one game between Abaran and Hrazdan.
Zabahian's continuing to match up with Pope. Jagulian gets Zabahian in the air. Jagulian with his first bucket.
That's a tough task, getting Toboggan in the air and scoring off him. That's a very, very interesting moment there for Jagulian.
Carter, no good. And it looks like Jagulian switched on to Carter after Bogosian picked up his second foul, and he's been doing an all right job too.
Need more spacing down low.
Coleman with an 8 on the shot clock, and Jagulian saying the ball's wet. Pope. Off the heel of the rim, Mask with the rebound. Mask, 3 defenders back for Hrazdan. He pulls up. Short rebound, Pope, under a minute to go in the first half. Hrazdan gets it to Coleman. Coleman finishes, 11-point lead now.
Less than 50 seconds to go in the half.
Carter steps back on Jagulian. Third time is not the charm. Jagulian in front of everyone, and he pulls it back and gets it to Hudasian. He got blocked, but Jagulian winds up finishing it off.
A lot of chatting happening on the Armens end.
And a timeout called with 24 seconds left in the first half. We're going to be right back. Going to commercial. 24 seconds left in the first half of this championship game of the spring season. It'll be Armens' ball coming out of the timeout. And Rich, Hrazdan now up to their biggest lead of the game at 13. Rich, what do you think Eli Atman is going to try to go to coming out of this timeout?
Well, firstly, get the team together on the same page. Clearly at the end, I noticed that they were kind of chapping at each other, but you got to get 20 more seconds here, get a good bucket, and move on to the third quarter.
Carter being patient. Hrazdan shading a double team. Mask tries to finish around Pope. Panusi gets it, goes up, fouled on his way up. Panusi continuing to make an impact in this first half. He's got 12 points, 6 of 10 from the field.
And this is what I was talking about. They're going to need Pat Panusi at his tip-top shape. You can't get into these momentum little moments where your emotion gets to the best of you. Icing?
Looks like they're going to try to ice Panusi. Panusi, a 42% free throw shooter on the season, Rich. He gets there he shoots 6 times from the charity stripe, but look, 42% is not what you'd like to see.
I think if I'm Coach Jajayan, this is a good timeout. Icing him even more.
Also talk about a strategy, maybe come down and you get an extra bucket going into the half. And if you're Hrazdan, you just let Pope go ISO coming down the floor. Maybe you try to hit Hrazdan on a quick hitter off the make. He just starts sprinting down and you throw a full court pass.
I think you know what? I would go as far as Ron Coleman being the guy that's shooting this one. He's been pretty composed, at least on the other end, if Panusi does miss it, of course. Actually, if Panusi misses, Hrazdan's the guy I want. If the basket's made, I want Coleman to go the other side, and the pass is made from Hrazdan.
Hrazdan already shading past half court. He got a double-double in the first half, 16 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists to go along with it. And he even shot a three-pointer early on. Look, we know three-point shooting isn't his forte, but he's doing everything he can for his team right now. Panusi good on the first.
By the way, Pope has 11 and 16 as well himself.
Imagine he's playing second fiddle right now. Panusi pure on both. Into Pope instantly. Bringing it up to court. 2 seconds. 1 second. Hrazdan gets it off.
Oh.
Can't put it in. That does us through one half here in the AABA Championship. 11-point Hrazdan lead. 46-35 going into the break. Hrazdan suffocating Ryan Carter, the Hezigod on defense, and has led to this big lead. We'll be back after the break.
Frances. Ես Աթին եմ, ես 5 տարեկան եմ, շատ եմ սիրում ես կենտրոնը գա, 2 հատ ապեր Վազգենը, Ալեքս, մի հատ է Սոնա։
Կենտրոնը իրականացնում է հոգեբանական, սոցիալական, առողջարարական և կրթական ծրագրեր, որի շահառուները կարող են լինել և երեխաները, և ծնողները։ Այստեղ նաև ծնողավարական աշխատանքներ ենք տանում, որովհետև միակողմանի աշխատանքը միայն երեխային ուղղված անարդյունավետ կլինի։
Ուզում եմ մեծանամ, որ բժիշկ դառնամ։
Back here at Academy USA, 20 minutes remain in this spring season for 2023 championship game. Hrazdan up by 11 against Armens in a rematch from the fall season. And Rich, it's been Hrazdan's defense that's really been the story.
Hrazdan's defense and consistency, their ability to constantly get rebounds in the lane and on offense as well. There was even a play where they had 4 offensive rebounds, and it was all Austin Pope. The man has now 16 rebounds, and 4 offensive rebounds are one of them.
It's ridiculous
Or
how
4 of
well
them.
these guys are playing, and I think Coleman coming back today has been a huge X factor, humongous. 12 points in that first half. He's been cold from 3. No, nothing's hit yet, but he's been amazing from everywhere else. My apologies. 13 points, and he's got 5 or 3 rebounds to go along with it. And look, he's been that real presence in the low post that they haven't had all season.
And that's where Hudatian coming into the picture helps. Almost every bucket Coleman has had today has been through either Austin Pope or Tsevan Hudatian, and that's the powerful backcourt that we were talking about in the pregame.
And Rich, today the stars really haven't been shining as bright as they usually do. Carter, 13 points or 15 points. He's been doing well, but not the 30, 40 point performances we're used to. And Pope, on the other hand, he's barely in double figures, only with 10.
Well, that was a tough shot, mind you.
Carter instantly getting things kicked off for the Armens. Bogosian trying to find Pope. These Armens look a little energized coming into the second half. Coleman puts it back to an 11-point game.
That was a great pass by Bogosian, recognizing Coleman coming down straight through the paint. It's a big boy move.
Jemian, tough move. And Rich, you could hear the crowd getting into it a little bit now too.
They need him. I mean, it's been too quiet for the Armens in the first half.
Been too quiet for a basketball gym in a championship game.
Oh, yeah.
Good back cut by Hudatian, continuing to absolutely dominate this game.
What a pass. I mean, Jagulian, so much finesse in that pass.
Carter off the rim, and the pass into no man's land, and it's a Jemian who swoops in and takes it.
And Jagulian instructing Hudatian to pick up a Jemian.
A Jemian, runner no good. Hudatian on the break, lays it off to Coleman. Coleman finds Bogosian, extra pass, pays off.
It's starting to get out of hand, Zando.
Hezigod the other way, finishes it off, and he really wanted a foul there. Pope brings it the other way, still no foul called. And Rich, look at how much the pace has picked up. Possessions flying by. Jemian short. Jagulian rebound. He's got Hudatian, he's got Pope, but he does it himself.
And Jagulian, was that his first bucket?
Second bucket
that
of
would
the
have been
game.
Second bucket, yeah.
But he's
For a guy
really
that's been
fired up.
Yeah. For a guy that's been so involved.
The Balhian, he gets his first basket now. The pace, the intensity, the crowd, the yelling, the screaming. It's feeling like a championship game.
As an audience, I'm still not sold on the fact that Hrazdan has sealed any kind of deal here. Still lots of game left. Still lots of great defensive opportunities for guys like the Balhian.
Pope, no good, but it's Hudatian with another rebound. Bogosian for 3. Pope battling for another board. Panusi with it. A Jemian corner. Lob. The Balhian doesn't finish it off.
Great pass by Jemian nonetheless.
Panusi for 3. Fouled. Almost an and one.
Great awareness by Panusi, recognizing Jagulian's not in his right spacing, and the referee just had to call that call.
And Rich, that's a tough one, or that's Jagulian's first. I thought he gave one earlier in the back or in the front court. Looks like they didn't call it on him, so he's got 1 foul. Not as bad as you think. Panusi to the free throw line. First trip, good on both.
Starting to get a little more active here. You're right, Zando. Starting to sound a little bit more like a championship game.
Energy picking up, poise picking up. And Rich, one thing, neither of these teams efficient at all from the field. Hrazdan 24 of 57, 3 of 20 from 3-point.
I think it's a 17 of 52 for the Armens. That's really making me
And 1 of 13 from deep.
shake my head. Yeah.
Panusi makes 1 out of the 3, so the lead at 11. Coleman tried to rock the rim. Bogosian gets it back.
Coleman could have really switched the momentum into their benefit. Unable to convert.
Pope, masked, trying to stay in front, does a good job. And Panusi hauls in the rebound. Carter inside. A couple defenders there, but it didn't matter. And Hrazdan wanted to travel.
What a play by Ryan Carter, using his body and control.
Coleman, nice move. Rich, it's only been 4 minutes in the second half, and it's been electric. Jemian with a spinner.
Wow.
What a move by a Jemian. And look, Hrazdan now getting a little too caught up with the refs.
You can't get into the grill of the referees. It's
Pope brings it into the front court. Hrazdan, nearly an and one, but he's going to go back to the free throw line. And a chance for everyone to catch their breath for a second at the free throw line. Let's regather. Let's reset. This first or second half has been go.
Oh yeah, it's like freshman year versus senior year. It's a complete different atmosphere.
Hrazdan, second leading scorer in the game, 18. Carter already 6 points in 4 minutes and 23 seconds in the second half. He's just been going, but he hasn't been going from deep. He's 1 of 11, Rich.
Man, 1 of 11 is not a great statistic you want to have in your championship final. However, when you come across nights like that, I've been there. We've all been there. You got to be able to produce in areas that it's not statistics driven. It's the areas that Andrew Dabarian succeeds in, areas that Samson Injigulian excels in. So learning from their playbook, something to learn from.
And he's been getting it done from inside. Still impacting this game. Injigulian still on Carter. Carter steps back at the free throw line. Another bucket.
A lot of communication on Hrazdan's end.
Energy continuing to pick up. Pope with it. He's been quiet in this second half. Bogosian corner. Short. Panusi rebound. Panusi getting it done on the glass so far. He's got 8. Carter slips and a travel called.
A lot of mixed emotions on the court right now.
He did slip on a wet spot there. I think that's why he's so incensed.
Yeah. Got to make sure everything is solid on the floor. But again, getting into a battle with the referees is just adding another opponent that you really don't want to have.
That's just a fight you're not going to win because at the end of the day, the refs say it's final, and they could be 1,000 times wrong, but the other 2 referees are going to go back up that first one. Now stoppage, trying to clean up that wet spot that Carter slipped on. And Rich, we see it in the crowd that Hrazdan's family with some fat heads of him. I mean, you love to see it. The support, amazing. And
I love it, man.
He's lived up to it. 20 points already. What is he? How many rebounds is he at now? 13 rebounds.
2013. Wow.
And then you got Pope with 17.
It's almost like I want to see more assists, but Tevon gets hockey assists for a living. And for those unfamiliar with a hockey assist, it's like not the first pass that gets it, but it's the second pass that you made, you know?
Floor finally cleaned up. Hrazdan ball. Gonna try to make it a double-digit game yet again. Panusi now matched up with Hrazdan. And Injigulian really has just been essentially Draymond Green for Hrazdan today.
Yeah.
Pope driving and finishes in the face of Panusi.
Just going above everyone, using his hops and his length, something Pope has been doing for quite some time.
Carter answers with a 3.
And not too far away. It's only an 8-point game. Sponsor sitting, watching the game, loving everything going on.
Game gone away from that lightning fast pace it was in the first 4 minutes of the half. Hrazdan, quick move on Panusi. It's like the foul will be called on the floor.
Interesting.
That'll be Panusi's 3rd foul, Rich.
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye out for. Do you put Alex McCurchin? Yeah, there it is. McCurchin's coming in.
McCurchin in, Panusi out, and Panusi 15 points in this game. He's also got 8 rebounds, and he's just a big body in the paint that's been keeping his hands up and altering shots. Pope, spin. Carter there with the help defense, gets the rebound, but Hrazdan picks his pockets.
That's a
And
lot
Carter
of
a little
contact.
too aggressive there, whistled for a foul.
But how about, I mean, look, that call, we can argue about that all day, but the fact that Hrazdan alone was able to grab the rebound, and when I say Hrazdan, people on the screen need to understand that Hrazdan is no taller than 6 feet. The dude is literally one of the smallest players on the court, and he's able to get the most rebounds on the court as well. That tells me a lot about his IQ.
And Jagulian will trigger the inbound. Carter on him. Pope still with only 12 points. Backing down the Bagian. And Jagulian for 3. Short.
Who else?
And Hrazdan
Who
with
else?
another board. Belosian, he takes a go. And he hits. Andreas Belosian makes it an 11-point game.
We just watched Hrazdan hurdle over a bunch of humans to get another
He was getting
basketball.
boxed out, and he's found a way to get around it. Amazing job, amazing effort by Hrazdan, and Belosian nearly with the steal. And that one is called on Belosian, and foul trouble was something he had in the first half. That's his 3rd now.
Yeah, I gotta watch out. Both sides have a player with 3 fouls that they heavily need.
Ajemian cutting, Ajemian finishing.
Coach Eli Atme furious with the referees. He wanted a call there, but, I mean, Atme's got a lot on his hands alone.
3 minutes to go in the quarter. 64-55 Hrazdan lead. Pope. Belosian drives baseline. Belosian to Hrazdan. He tries from deep. No good. Here comes Ryan Carter. The Hezigod. Inside. And Jagulian draws a charge. And Rich, that's Carter's 3rd foul now.
Jagulian was waiting there and waiting there and waiting there.
Jagulian putting his body on the line. Continuing to impact games without putting the ball in the basket. He's taking charges. He's gotten rebounds. He's stepping up and playing defense on Ryan Carter, the Hezigod. He's doing everything.
A lot of players of Jagulian's stature would probably stop basketball right after high school. But Jagulian, not only does he play, but he also adds value to whatever team he joins. I mean, from the offensive end, you're not going to expect much from Jagulian. However, you do want to make sure that Jagulian's IQ transfers onto the court through his passing, through his screen setting, and etc.
And here he is bringing up the ball. Under 3 minutes now. Foul called. It'll be sideline out of bounds. Pope gets it in. Coleman just dominating the mid-range game today, Rich.
Yeah, no, Coleman grabbing the ball in that position clearly has been telling me that he's worked on that game for years and years, and he's only going to get better at it, if not stay in the same space.
Carter, another bucket, puts it back to a 9-point game.
Sando, they can't seem to pass this 9-point deficit.
Hrazdan playing a little bit of keep away. And then Jagulian, one of the rare mistakes he's made all day. Armens on the break. Carter. And there it is, down to 7 points now.
7-point game. Jemian likes what he sees.
Carter now with 30 points. Pope. He does it himself going inside.
Oh, yeah.
Jemian driving. Coleman in his face. Great contest. And McCurcheon, I believe he's going to get called for an intentional foul right now. And a tech.
And not what you want to see if you're Armens basketball club.
So it's an intentional foul and a technical foul.
Four free
Is
throws?
that 4 free throws and the ball?
That is 4 free throws and the ball, Zando. I believe it is.
And he kind of just bumped Hrazdan, who didn't have the ball. And the refs noticed it, so that's really tough. And now Panusi has to re-enter the game with 3 fouls as well.
Tough position you're putting your team in.
So lead back up to 11. Hrazdan chance to extend it to 13. This is the front end. These are the intentional free throws now. This is the first. Minute 29 left in the quarter, Rich.
Yeah.
And this is just uncharacteristic for the Armens. They're kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
I understand. Look, I understand the frustrations of the frustration of the Armens, but at the same time, I'm looking at it, and I'm understanding that 3 of your players were not on time, which doesn't allow you to flow properly. And so that, from the beginning, kind of starts the game on the wrong foot, and you don't have much room to work with moving up.
The snowball just keeps rolling down the hill and
Yeah.
getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
So you got to stay mentally strong, mentally focused, and not let these technicals and intentionals get in the way.
Bogosian from the corner. Short. Hrazdan almost winds up with the steal. Other way, Armens. Carter inside to the Bahian. No good. Hrazdan back on the break. Hrazdan slowing it down. Panusi.
Panusi's going to
at
have
him.
to be careful, Zando.
And there is his 4th foul. A little too aggressive. And you could hear the slap from outside the building.
Yeah, not a good foul. I could tell the way he was going to guard Teva Hrazdan. I knew something was going to happen out of character, and they're going to need Panusi on the court in order to win this game. Luckily enough, it's only a minute left. You could live with taking him out for the rest of the quarter, but player of his caliber, you want to have him on the game.
It looks like Melik Setian is in to check in for him. Panusi coming back out. And Rich, do you think Armens maybe switch to a zone with Melik Setian in?
Do you allow Bogosian to get comfortable in that corner, shoot the threes?
Or if they don't switch to a zone, do you think Hrazdan's just going to attack whoever Melik Setian's in? He hasn't really been in the game, not in the flow of things.
It's tough to say. I mean, Melik Setian usually not the player you're looking to really be the game changer, but that's not to say in the finals anything can happen.
Mask finds Carter. Carter trying to make something happen. Goes inside. Pope there to contest. Jemian and Bogosian both battling, and it goes Hrazdan's way.
Yeah, that was great hustle from the 2 Pacific Leaguers.
2 former Crescenta Valley Falcons.
That's right. That's right.
35 left in the quarter. Hrazdan up 14.
Still lots of game left. Nothing's determined.
Coleman for 3. Yes!
As is bread and butter. They should have had him in that corner this entire year.
Correction, that was a 2 for Coleman. Still lead up to 16. A chance to extend it just a tad bit more.
Got to hold on for the last shot if you're Hrazdan.
Melik Setian comes out on Pope and Jagulian. 3 on the clock. Shovel pass. Hrazdan. No good. 3 quarters down. 1 to go. Hrazdan trying to retake the crown here in the AABA. Up 16 heading into the final frame.
Keep them. Hello everyone, I am Nare from Armenian Lernogok village. I've participated in almost all of Co-op's programs. Now I work as a communications manager and I continue judging debates for different organizations. Co-op has taught me how to be open-minded, how to look at things from different perspectives, and how to grow as a person and as a professional. Co-op has made me a dreamer. I catch myself dreaming about my future and my country's future very often, and I've learned that from Co-op. I am forever grateful for the inspiration and support that I've received from Co-op, and I will cherish that forever.
And Rich, we mentioned it earlier. Look at the Hrazdan family showing the support for him. And look, he's got 23 points, and he's been amazing today. And mind you, on the other end, it looks like the referee is not happy with something. And Ryan Carter, the Hezigod, and Commissioner Suran Armenian now getting into it.
I'm not entirely sure the situation, but if you are on the sideline right now, you have to understand that there's one thing that coaches have.
We're going to go to commercial.
Professional orientation-ը կարևոր է, որովհետեւ I am Manush from Shenik village. Being from the older generation of Co-op kids, I participated in various programs: healthy lifestyle, English access, professional orientation, and startup incubation. I study international relations at Yerevan State University, and last semester, as an Erasmus Plus student, I studied political science at the University of Messina in Italy. Many soft skills I gained and volunteering experience I had with Co-op programs helped me to reach even Italy, study abroad, and come back again to my village. Co-op motivated me to be the change I want to see in my community. I want to emphasize the importance of English access and professional orientation programs in my life, which helped me to improve my English skills and make a decision to become a diplomat.
Keep them. Hello everyone, I am Nare from Armenian Lernogok village. I've participated in almost all of Co-op's programs. Now I work as a communications manager and I continue judging debates for different organizations. Co-op has taught me how to be open-minded, how to look at things from different perspectives, and how to grow as a person and as a professional. Co-op has made me a dreamer. I catch myself dreaming about my future and my country's future very often, and I've learned that from Co-op. I am forever grateful for the inspiration and support that I've received from Co-op, and I will cherish that forever.
What's important for this upcoming season is just Gary being consistent and getting a chance to show what he can do and be on the court, and all this hard work to pay off from where he started last year and kind of just keep evolving to where it's going. As we talk about, G, it's about getting 1% better every day. I think that's what we need to just focus on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So during the commercial break, beginning of the fourth quarter, 1 second has not elapsed off the clock. Carter has been ejected. Carter said too much to the referee. Commissioner Suran Armenian also had to get involved. He was tossed out. Bogosian shot 2 technical free throws. He was 1 of 2. Lead now up to 16. But the bigger story for the Armens, they're without Carter for the rest of the game.
It's quite the change-up in terms of what was brewing for the Armens in terms of their game. But, man, this is going to be very difficult for the Armens to come back and win it for their second championship in a row.
Coleman, turnaround jumper off. Armen's going to have to start picking up the pace. And Rich, do you think they start leaning on a guy like Ejemian as Mask gets his first basket finally in the fourth quarter?
You know what's the crazy thing? This just might actually fuel some fire under Armens, and they just might make it even more competitive than it was.
Pope with it. Coleman catches, fires. Panusi goes inside. Panusi over Njagulian, yes. And Rich, there's that fire you were talking about. Lead down to 13 now.
Put your head down and play some basketball. That's what it's come to. It's the last game of the season. You're not going to get another game until fall 2023. And Lord knows if you're going to even be able to play in fall 2023. So these players got to make sure they know where their place is.
5 seconds on the clock. Njagulian trying to find something, gets it up. And he was fouled.
Tough
and look,
break.
Rich, you can see Alex McCurchin on the back. He's got to be careful. He's got a tech too.
He's going to have to watch out too.
Look, and Panusi has 4 fouls, so there's a lot of moving parts right now going on for this Armens team. And Njagulian to the free throw line to shoot 2.
Look, if there's one thing's for certain, this Armens team is not going anywhere until the last whistle. I'm not even counting them out yet. They're the ones that came up on top after the entire debacle.
Njagulian misses his first free throw of the season. And he's 0 for 2 there. Debagian with the rebound. Ejemian inside. And there's the crowd getting into it again for the Armens. Lead down to 11.
The only way Armens will come back, if they fight for it, they need it.
Pope looking to quiet down the crowd. Instead, he turns it over Ejemian.
They got 4 on 3 right now.
Mass was calling for it, and Bogosian gives a foul before anything could happen. Whew.
What a championship game, Zando.
Seriously. I think everyone needs to take a quick deep breath. That'll be the 4th foul on Bogosian as well. Mask on the inbound. Mask for 3. Rebound Coleman. 8 minutes left in this game. Armens trying to make a comeback.
So far, Mask on Pope has been working for them.
Corner Bogosian. Doesn't matter to him what the situation is. He puts his team back up 14.
That's Bogosian. I mean, Bogosian, one of the most sound players, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of the above.
He's got 4 3-pointers in this game. A Ejemian air ball. Hudatsian to Njagulian. Shovel pass. Coleman nearly threw it down on a Ejemian.
Wow.
And it looks like both players a little shaken up. That's the second time Coleman almost had a highlight finish.
Damn.
And another technical now on the Armens. And it looks like it's going to be on Debagian.
Is that a technical on Debagian?
Technical foul, yep.
I'm interested to know what the call was. Like, what was it for, though? What was the technical for?
He must have said something to the ref while he was passing by, and the ref did not take exception to it. Coleman to the free throw line. I believe these are the free throws for the foul when he went up. And looks like, is he going to stay at the line to shoot 2 more?
I think he's getting 2 more, yeah.
McCurchin coming back into the game. And Coleman will shoot the technical free throws as well. Coleman, what a performance by him today.
Talk about
26 points. Make it 27. He's been so efficient. He's 9 of 19 from the floor. May have not hit a three, but he's been great from the free throw line as well, only missing one of his attempts. 7:27 left in this final quarter. And a timeout called by the Armens. We're going to take a break with them in this 18-point game. We'll be right back.
Professional orientation-ը կարևոր է, որովհետեւ I am Manush from Shenik Village. Being from the older generation of co-op kids, I participated in various programs: healthy lifestyle, English access, professional orientation, and startup incubation. I study international relations at Yerevan State University, and last semester, as an Erasmus Plus student, I studied political science at the University of Messina in Italy. Many soft skills I gained and volunteering experience I had with co-op programs helped me to reach even Italy, study abroad, and come back again to my village. Co-op motivated me to be the change I want to see in my community. I want to emphasize the importance of English access and professional orientation programs in my life, which helped me to improve my English skills and make a decision to become a diplomat.
Time slowly dwindling down on this spring 2023 AABA season. It's Hrazdan in the driver's seat of this championship game. Into Pope.
Great
Mask
defense.
with the steal. Mask on the break, and Jagulian lets him go. Maybe a smart move by Jagulian, not giving up the foul and letting the clock continue to run. Coleman gets it. Panusi on him. Panusi got to be careful playing with 4 fouls. Hudatian cutting to Bogosian. Inside. Coleman. Hrazdan continuing to be patient. And Jagulian. No good from deep. Ajemian. Fouled by Jagulian in the backcourt. And Rich, you see it. It's a championship game. A lot of emotions and, you know, the energy, the environment. You love to see it, but maybe just too much focus on the referees right now.
Yeah, man. Any game where the focus goes away from the talent on the court, it's not a helpful situation.
Sideline out of bounds for the Armens. Jagulian.
I think the call was a delay of game.
Panusi for 3. Gets it to go. Panusi cutting into a 13-point lead.
Still lots of game left.
6.5 left to go. Pope to Bogosian. Bogosian thought he was going to fire one up to answer. Shovel pass. And Coleman and Pope dominating that inside. And Hudatian with the steal. Hudatian on the break. Debagian gives a foul before he goes up.
Great defense by Hudatian.
Rich, is it slowly slipping away from the Armens right now?
I can't say. 6 minutes left, 15-point game. They get three three-pointers in a row. It's a different ball game. But with no Ryan Carter, that's a different situation.
Bagian to the free throw line. Bagian good on both free throws, and it'll be Armen's ball now. So Rich, right when it seemed like it was slipping away from them, they're getting a chance to cut it right back to 10 points. Panusi just hit a 3. A little bit of momentum going on their side.
It's a game of runs, right?
See what happens. And Jagulian touches it last, so it stays with the Armens. Jemin. Off. Mass tries tracking it down. Hrazdan. Hudatian. Coleman, he's been so good today. Can he do one more thing for his team? Bogosian over the Baghian. Tough shot. And Rich, who else to clean it up but Tevan Hudatian?
I mean, the statistics, 23 points, 17 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Hudatian been amazing today. McCurchin in and out. Rebound Panusi. Panusi finishes it off. And Panusi been the bright spot for his team. 22 points today. And it seems like Hrazdan just sucking the life out of this game.
Yeah.
Slowing it down, making the shot clock go to nearly 0 every single time. Bogosian over a Jemian. Armens clinging on to life. Mask pulls up. Off, rebound Bogosian.
Ara Jajayan hinting to his team, slow it down. We don't need anything crazy here.
Inside of 5 minutes now. Pope tries going baseline. Panusi there to stop it.
You're going to need a lot more to pass Panusi.
Hudatian stripped by
Great
McCurchin,
defense.
gets it back. And Pope pushes off of Panusi.
Great defense by McCurchin.
But Rich, that was a long possession. Look,
I mean,
4:19 left.
look, Hrazdan's got 4 fouls on the board. If it becomes a free throw match, it's going to be a complete different ballgame.
A Jemian three-pointer, yes. 10-point game. Rich, the last 5 minutes of a championship game are where legends are made. This is where the game is decided. And who's going to be the guy to step up? Will it be Pope? He's been so good all season. Coleman. Panusi trying to stop him. Panusi being disciplined. Pope. Erratic shot, no good. Rebound Panusi.
The big opportunity for Armens.
Chance to cut into this lead, make it a single-digit game, and Mass does that. Timeout called by Coach Ara Jajayan. Don't count out the undefeated Armens just yet. 8-point game, 3:28 left. Hrazdan with the 8-point lead, but the Armens not giving up. And Rich, let's take a look at how we got here. The Armens, look, you remember that first game? They almost got upset against Vaughn. But you know what? It's been a great journey the whole way through, and we mentioned it. It's just been leading up to these two teams matching up for the second consecutive year in the finals.
Yeah. I mean, Armens had to go through Vaughn and Artsakh. Hrazdan had to go through Abaran and Aragats. Two complete different dynamics of what led them to the championship match, but nonetheless, here they are, battling it out, and it's a traveling violation.
A huge break for the Armens.
It's a huge call. Less than 3.5 left to go, Zando.
Rich, who do you go to here? They haven't really had that fallback option without Carter in the game.
Jemian and Mask. Jemian and Mask have been showing a lot of opportunities where they're getting themselves to the basket.
A Jemian inside. No good on the layup. Hrazdan on the break. Bogosian pulling it back. Pope to Injagulian.
Six seconds. Gonna have to make a move.
Coleman. In and out. Panusi been doing a great job on him late in this game. Pope almost with the steal. McCurchin cutting Panusi for the finish.
And it's just like that, just a 6-point game, Zando.
2.5 left. Hrazdan needs a bucket. Coleman comes to set the screen. Pope rejects it. 2-3 defenders in his area. Pass to Injagulian. Fouled on his way up.
Great veteran move by Injagulian. Recognizing he had 2 Armens players. And mind you, Armens basketball players have been working really hard to get this lead to a 6-point lead. So you knew they were going to be jumping.
And Rich, these are 2 huge free throws. If Samson knocks these down, he can make it an 8-point game, but just give them the chance to exhale for a second.
No, the chirping at the line is mainly what's
short on the first. And Rich, it really does feel like Hrazdan's been on the back foot despite being up this whole half.
You can tell. Khudatian's gone out of his rhythm, and Pope is kind of trying to collect the team back into the right mentality.
Tabaghian bounce pass to Jemian, 4-point game.
Just
and the
like
crowd
that.
really coming alive now. 2 minutes to go.
87-83, less than 2 minutes to go.
Pope fouled.
He's
It's
not
gonna be
shooting.
unmasked.
Well, he's shooting because of the bonus.
Shooting
He's
no
not-
matter what.
Yeah,
And the bonus.
yeah. Zeno, this might be the craziest.
I thought last year's final was crazy.
Going down to the wire.
And Rich, this Hrazdan team, they missed 8 free throws today. This game could borderline be out of reach if they made those free throws.
Yeah.
Pope good on his first, and I think these are his first points of the fourth quarter.
Could be. Very well could be, actually. You're not wrong.
Pope good on both. Lead back up to 6. 2 minutes left.
Got to get a quick bucket here if you're Armens. Got to use the lane to your advantage.
Jemian, stopped by Pope. Rebound Coleman. Khudatian pulling it back in transition. Coleman, corner. Injagulian. Stolen by Tabaghian. And that's going to be free throws for the Armens now.
That's free throws. And we were talking about this in the earlier stage of the fourth quarter. It's going to come down to the small details. Who is able to stay composed in the times that matters most. And in that moment, though Khudatian has been exceptional for the majority of the game, a small detailed issue like that is going to bite them in the butt if Tabaghian makes these free throws.
2 huge free throws coming up for Tabaghian. Been impacting this game hugely on the defensive end. Only 4 points on offense. He was good on both his free throws earlier in the game. Good on this one. And Tabaghian, you wouldn't think a guy 1 of 8 from the floor would be impacting the game this much.
Well, actually, it's crazy. I was looking at his statistics. Even on the defensive end, it says that he only averages a steal per game.
I feel like steals are like a fake defensive stat. Like
I know.
James Harden isn't the best defender. He was averaging
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 steals
Yeah.
one season. So
True.
inflated
Very
game.
well said.
4-point game. Minute and a half left. Pope calling off the screen and now calling for one. Coleman and Jagulian staggered screen stolen by Jemian. Other way, Jemian makes it a 1-possession game.
Just like that, they're back, Zando. This is what I was telling you. Out of the intentional and the fouls and the technical fouls, Armens loves to come out of these situations. They love it.
You don't go undefeated 2 years strong without a little bit of resiliency. Coleman, 9 on the shot clock. We're under a minute. Coleman silences the crowd.
Wow. 2-possession game just like that, Zando.
Hrazdan in need of a stop. Instead, Jemian kniving inside for a bucket.
He's too big. He's driven, and he has a goal in his mind. He wants that championship. You can tell in his eyes.
Rich, 40 seconds left. Hrazdan with the ball, and the Armens don't need to foul yet. Ten on the shot clock. Coleman looking to ice it a little bit more. And a charge called. McCurchin taking the biggest play, making the biggest play of the game.
Being there at the right time, sacrificing your body. Alex McCurchin being the first player in the gym today tells you everything about whether he wants to win or lose. And clearly this Armens team is here to win.
Timeout taken by the Armens. Rich, what a finish we're in for. 25.1 left. 91-89 lead for Hrazdan. And you could just tell they're starting to get on each other. Their energy down. You can hear Hezigod shouting instructions, and they're kind of a little bit of friction. And you mentioned it. Carter got ejected, and it seemed to light a fire under the Armens, and it's brought them closer together.
This is not the first time that the Armens find themselves in a predicament. The thing about championship teams is that it's not about what situation you're in. It's about how you come back, how you stand up from that fall. And they haven't fell in 2 years. Excuse me, in a year, in 2 seasons. So that should tell you everything about the Armens and how they play. It might not be the prettiest basketball. It might not be the most orthodox, the one that you're going to show it to a corporation, but it is a style of basketball that works if all hands are on deck equally.
Rich, 25.1 left. 91-89 Hrazdan lead. At this point of the game, there's no more my bads. There's no more what ifs. There's none of that. It's just do or do not.
With 25 seconds, 2-point game. Armens basketball, or
Looks like referee trying to clean up a wet spot on the opposite end of the floor.
Am I mistaken? Isn't it Armens? It's Armens basketball.
ball.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be McCurchin triggering the inbound. He just stole his team of possession, giving him a chance to tie it up.
Zando, do you go for the 2 or do you go for the 3?
You just go for the best available shot at this point.
Best available shot.
Here we go, Rich.
It's going to be tough on the referees, too.
Double team towards the Gemian. Gets a good look inside, and he ties us up at 91.
Wow.
Timeout taken by Hrazdan. Gabriel Gemian has taken over in the final 2 minutes.
Well, we were talking about it. He's a gold medalist. He plays with Compton College. This man has a history of being able to perform under pressure. We talked about a couple of names for the Armens. We had Patrick Panusi, we had Fred Odiambo, Ryan Carter, and Gabriel Gemian. But Patrick Panusi and Gabriel Gemian are the glues on this team that allows them to succeed in the toughest moments and bringing a light under their teams, a fire up their team. And Zando, my question for you here is, who's taking the game-winning shot for Hrazdan? Is it Coleman, is it Khudatian, or is it Pope?
I'm a big believer in you got to go to the guy that got you here. He got you to this point. Pope, look, he hasn't had his best game today. 6 of 19 from the floor, only 18 points. But he got them here. He's the one that led them through this playoffs. He's the one that picked up the slack without Andre Spite here. And I think right now is his moment to shine and his moment to show why he got his team here. Can he finish it off? Can he defeat the Armens for the first time in 2 seasons? We're about to find out.
Pope recognizing he can inbound the ball on the other side of the half.
8 seconds left. Pope working on mask. Pope inside. Intragulian. Belosian gets it up. And we're headed to overtime.
Wow.
Well, if you wanted a fascinating, energy-driven, exciting championship game, you got it. 91-91. We're headed in for some extra basketball.
Wow. Zando, when we experienced that 2-3 minutes of constant technicals, constant intentionals being thrown around, we had no idea. It was very emotional. And here we are in an overtime situation where Armens is able to completely erase the last 40 minutes that we just saw. This is the perfect circumstance for Eli Atmay to see, can they get 2 championships in a row? Do they want that second star in their logo like Hrazdan has?
Rich, it's 0-0. 3 minutes left to go. Brand new game. Khudatian catches right away.
Little 2-man game. Watch out for that.
Rejecting the screen. Goes inside. Pope. Gemian. Great defense. McCurchin fakes, gets it back. Pass out of bounds.
A little lackadaisical there on the pass. McCurchin recognizes it. But no room for human error here. No room.
I don't know why they don't go back to Coleman in the short post maybe. Instead, Coleman, top of the key. Rebound. Looks like it'll be over the back foul on Hrazdan.
It's been working for him majority of the game, but again, it comes down to the details. It comes down to overtime. Not even fourth quarter anymore. We're talking about overtime.
Rich, the energy it's so high right now. You see that little corner of Armens fans on the baseline. They've really helped spark this run. You talk about traveling well. They traveled and they showed up and they started getting loud at the right time.
I'm interested to know what the conversation is between the referee and Coach Eli Atme of the Armens. And
I believe a player fouled out, so he's over the foul limit. So every time he's going to foul now, it's going to be a technical free throw in order for him to stay in the game.
Understood.
And the Boggian misses, so doesn't come back to haunt them just yet.
If I'm Armens, I'm taking it straight to Hrazdan. If a foul every single time out of Hrazdan means basically the ramification of a technical, I'm taking it straight to Hrazdan every single time.
Armenian with it. He's the man that got them this far. Hrazdan switched onto him. Pope blocks him. Austin Pope erases a sure 2 points. Panusi almost with a steal.
Gotta communicate. This is where a bench is needed. And if not a bench, Coach Arjajayan has to let his team know what predicament they're in. And if you're Bogosian, it's not a good morale booster at all.
10 on the shot clock. Pope. He's been struggling late in this game. Rebound ends up in Coleman's hands. Fouled on the way up.
Good foul by McCurchin. Not letting anything easy pass by him.
So Coleman to the free throw line, and these are two really big free throws right now, Rich.
Yeah. Especially as the X factor he has been today.
Coleman off on the first. Under 2 minutes, minute 42 left.
They've only traded baskets once on each other.
No
one scored yet.
Period.
That's what it was.
Coleman splits him. He's got 30 points, and his team's got a 1-point lead. Pope picks the Jemian's pockets. Other way, Mass, the only man back, can't stop him.
Wow. 2 defensive efforts, not just one.
The Jemian the other way. Back to a 1-point game, minute 20 left. Pope bringing it.
Gotta stay composed if you're Hrazdan. Recognize what's going on.
Pope takes the screen. Coleman. Into McCurchin. No call. The Boghian with the rebound. Chance for Armens to take their first lead of the second half. Ajemian. Pope with the contest. Pope has been everywhere on defense in overtime.
94-93, 40 seconds left to go.
And you need a bucket here. Hrazdan inside the key. 3-point lead now for Hrazdan. One stop is needed. Inside, Mask. Fouled on the way up.
Wow, what an effort from both sides. Hrazdan being able to stay composed, recognize where they are into overtime, but also give credit to the Armens coming back from such a deficit. 16-point deficit. Excuse me, 16, 17, I believe.
I believe 18 at one point.
18 at one point. Man.
And Rich, these are going to be Mask's first free throws of the game. Obviously, none bigger up until this point. He's a 50% free throw shooter on the year.
Yeah, no. I forget whether it was Bill McDonald or Stu Lance that says all that stuff goes out the door. Statistics, abilities, it goes out the door. Once you're at that free throw line, it all comes down to how composed you are. Because it's a mental game, really, at the free throw line.
Mask 6 points in this game, all coming in the fourth quarter. Off on the first. And Rich, do you maybe consider intentionally missing this second one, or you make it? Looks like he decided to make it.
Either way, I would have said go for it. You don't want to get out of character there.
Into Bogosian and Hrazdan were streaking on the other end. Coleman passing it around, and Hrazdan is going to go to the free throw line, but Njagulian was right there yelling. They should have just gotten the layup and made it a 2-score game.
That's what Njagulian was communicating with Hrazdan and Bogosian. He was like, push it, get that bucket, so we can turn it into a 2-possession game instead of a 1-possession game. So Debagian's out of the game.
Out. Must have fouled out. And Melik Setien coming in. And you got to give credit to Debagian. Look, he left his heart out on the floor. There was a couple of possessions. I was just baffled how he ended up getting a steal.
Yeah, Debagian with 5 fouls. Double teaming on Austin Pope. Got to make sure that the inbounder doesn't get it back.
And Panusi with the foul. Is that his 5th? So it's going to be an extra free throw now, Rich.
Oh, that's what happens. I'm telling you, this is why the attentiveness to detail from the very beginning of the game is so important. Even if you're up by 15, 20, you got to make sure you're not doing anything that kicks you out of that efficiency scale, because right now, Pat Panusi just gave up 3 free throws, if I'm not mistaken, which not intentionally, of course. However, with the makeup of the game, that's what we've come to.
Coleman to the free throw line, 30 points on the day. 31 now. So we got a 3-point game. Now the players will go and stand on the block, stand on the hashes for the free throws on the foul, not the technical.
Mm-hmm.
Rich, one of these might put this game to bed.
Yeah. No, this is a crucial opportunity for Hrazdan to send it away, get their 3rd championship along on the way, and I guess start the design on that 3rd star. But not if the Armens have anything to say about that.
I mentioned it earlier, resiliency. You don't get 2 undefeated seasons without the resiliency of a team that has a championship pedigree. Mm-hmm. They still have something up their sleeve as Coleman misses the first.
Hey, we're speaking a little too soon. We got to make sure that we understand what the next play is.
Coleman,
2-possession game.
4-point game, 19.1 left. Panusi bringing it up. Panusi, quick 3. Off into Hrazdan's hands. And it's going to be another coronation for Hrazdan. They come back after losing the winter finals and come back and take the crown from the Armens. 98-94 victory for Hrazdan.
Well, folks, that concludes the season. We got 98-94. Hrazdan got its 3rd championship here at the AABA. A remarkable effort by Coach Ara Jajayan and the rest of his team. And it is absolutely phenomenal to watch this entire league flourish and become the league that it has become. Firstly, a major thank you to our high school division, and an even more major thank you to the Pro-Am teams in competing. Major thank you to the sponsors. From A to Z, a major thank you to all of our supporters, fans, audience, friends, family, everyone. Next, we're going to have Zando Arzumanian connect with the Hrazdan Finals Player of the Game. Well, folks, make sure to stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram as well. Instagram handle is AABA.league. Make sure to keep up with all the post-season activity, alongside with announcements of the All AABA Awards, as Hrazdan BC gets ready for Hrazdan Austin to present
We're running out of slack on this wire.
Hrazdan Basketball Club with a well-earned winning season, an undefeated season, might I add. And here's Zendo with the Hrazdan.
All right, I'm standing here live with the champions, Hrazdan. You guys came back after losing the championship last year. Revenge season was done. And let me get the MVP. Let me get the player of the game. Ron Coleman, please step up. Ron, tremendous performance. Look, you were the one talking the whole game during that whole commotion. It's just basketball. So what was it for you that kept you in it?
Honestly, this team right here, like, we play together. We play the right way, and I just wanted us to continue to stay focused and win. So we did that and closed it out.
Ron, end of the game, they started leaning towards you. What was your mindset when all these guys were kind of throwing different looks at you, coming at you?
You know what? I'm used to it. Like, I'm usually the biggest player on the court sometimes, so people throw different looks at me. But that's when we have to step up as a team and notice that and use every option that we have. So we did that, and I think it was a great outcome.
Thank you, Ron. I got a little present for you. This is for you, man. Player of the game. Where's Coach? Where's Coach at? Coach missing. So let. Coach, come here, come here. Congratulations. Look, you said it to me so many times. Never any turnover on the roster. Always only 5 guys. How were you able to do it this season going undefeated?
These guys are dogs, man. They come to fight. They come to battle. It's one man out, next man up. It's not easy, but these guys are tied together. We got leadership. We got everything on this team. It's all them. It's all them. They're the ones. They won the championship, and they earned it.
What were you telling them during the commotion, during all those technical fouls flying left, right, center?
The only thing I could say is just relax. Don't get involved. Just let it go. Just don't get involved. Let the refs sort it out and just play your game. Stay out of it. That's all I could say.
And here I have the trophy. We see the signs in the back. Tevon, you've been through it all. Let me hand this to you. You guys got a little moment to celebrate. Tevon, come here. Let's have one more. Tev, listen up. Look, you've been through it all through this team. How does it feel to come back after last year and get that bitter taste out of your mouth?
I mean, coming back from last year in the finals, we came, performed, went down to the wire. Didn't go our way, but we came better than ever. With Spite, Pope, Ron, JT at the beginning, came out with the whole new squad and came out strong. We just wanted it. We went 6-0, I believe. So we knew that we were going to come and play Armens today, so we came out with our game plan, and we know Ryan was a great player, so we came out trying to not be selfish as a team, and we performed together, went down again to the wire, but it went our way, thank God.
And Tevon, what do you have to say to all the people that counted you guys out one straight Spite left for friends?
Spite, this is for you, and to all the people that were hating, this is the team that next fall, you guys got to come and get us. I mean, the job's not done, but we're the best team out there.
You heard it here. Now 3-time champion Hrazdan getting the trophy one more time. That'll do it for us here in the 2023 spring AABA season. For everyone, our broadcast crew, producer Anthony Abachi, Richard Almoya, my color commentator, coordinating producer Joseph, everybody, thank you very much, and stay tuned for fall. We'll be back with more AABA action. I'm Hrazdan Austin Pope, signing off.